This is me building a personal finance community in public, okay? And it's called Dollar Discipline University. And what we're going to do in these live streams, how these videos work is first, we're going to be going through the YouTube comments to give you guys immediate sort of value. So make sure to get your comments in there. We're going to talk about things that happen inside the community today or, around this time, something that's coming up maybe, or etc. And then thoughts on my mind to help you reach your financial goals faster. Today, probably why you clicked on this video, we're talking about the fastest way to refill your emergency fund. And you're going to find out very soon why we did that, because one of the OGs of my channel here, commenters, so Vacation Time, we're going to get to your question in a second. I appreciate you. But first, D3 King, I'm in New Jersey. Every house looks like yours. LOL. What was this? This is a short. Okay. So yeah, I think I did some recording in front of my house. Yeah, I think I don't go to Jersey too often, so I don't I'm not too sure, but I appreciate you. What part of Jersey are you from? My brother-in-law is there. Vacation Time 247. And guys, this is why it's important to right now is the time to get your questions in, because he literally asked this 17 hours ago from the last video. So yesterday, I'm doing a daily live stream kind of series or whatever you want to call it. So now's the time to get it in, because I literally saw his question and I made the topic of this, this live stream today about his question. So the best time to get in is right now. All right. So he says, having a large tree cut down in front of the house at a cost of $3,600 and paying cash from our on-hand at-home supply. Of course, I'd like to replenish that money back without disrupting what's already been saved in the treasury or my brokerage account. Just not exactly sure how I'd go about doing it. Consider trimming what's being deposited in my personal brokerage biweekly, which is savings after 401k and Roth contributions are taken out. Another thought is to skim off the top by adding an extra $20 to $40 plus cash back each time a purchase is made with a debit card. Goal is to refill that portion of the piggy bank back before year's end. Would be interested in hearing your thoughts or suggestions on how you'd accomplish this or other avenues that could be pursued. Okay, interesting. Yeah, a lot of context here, so I really appreciate it. First, yeah, that stinks about the $3,600. Hopefully it was like a planned thing that you guys were doing, and it wasn't like an emergency tree situation. Because I had one of those recently, and it's not enjoyable. You got to get someone out quick. It's like, oh my god, the tree's gonna fall over. So yeah, hopefully that wasn't your situation. But let's start from the beginning of this. So I think first of all, I'm just gonna go to a spreadsheet. For me, this is kind of a math equation to start. So $3,600 is you're asking like, hey, how can I replenish that before the year's ending? And you're talking about 401k contributions. So I'm going to assume that you're a 9 to 5 employee, just like I am still at the moment. Okay. So that probably means you have 2, 4, 9 pay periods left. So we're going to take this number divided by 9. So the math is saying that every pay period, in order to get back to $3,600 to the end of the year, we need to find $400 every paycheck. So every basically 2 weeks, you have to do $400. So the things that you suggested here, which I love this, by the way, you're not just like asking a question. You're like, hey, I'm trying this, I'm thinking this, which is awesome. Consider trimming what's being deposited in my personal brokerage biweekly, which is savings after. Okay, so you basically have your 401k and Roth contributions taken out, I'm assuming of your paycheck, and then you have some stuff being deposited into some sort of investing account biweekly. And then this one I don't fully understand. Another thought is to skim off the top by adding an extra $20 to $40 cash back each time a purchase is made with the debit card. So you're saying like every time you buy like groceries with your debit card, it's a plus $20 on top of it. So if you spend $100, you're just going to contribute $20 to the like the savings aspect of it. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so I would say even if we were to break this down further, how it would basically be divided by 2 is how many weeks. So let me try to make this a little cleaner, actually. So this is total. This is biweekly, and this is weekly. Okay. So yeah, I think the math is saying $200 a week. So that's just something you have to ask yourself, is that something that you could do? And then like in your current resources, and then if not, if you still want to get to that goal, you're asking, hey, like what other things can I do? Um, so I think your mind's in the right spot. Like I think you have to ask yourself, for this one, considering trimming what's being deposited in my personal brokerage biweekly. So you have to ask yourself, which one is more important? They both seem important to you, but which one is like more important? Would you be willing to it's all about the trade-off. So are we going to trade off today's, emergency fund for tomorrow's investment, or tomorrow's investment for today's emergency fund, right? So it sounds like your main strategy is probably to trim that off. So that's the question you have to ask, and that's something that you can pump into like a I don't really talk about investing too much on this channel, but like interest compounding calculator, and you can just play around with it. For some reason, I always click on Nerd Wallets. I don't know why. But you can just kind of play around with like, hey, how much, like, what would me shaving off, I don't know, $100, $200 a week or something bi-weekly, what would that look like shaved off over a long enough time horizon? You can kind of play out the scenarios there. I guess there's other things that you could do. So on my channel, for example, on the regular videos tab, I do a bunch of challenges. I try to get to as many as I can. So I did stuff like Uber Eats delivery, where I made $250 in, it was 20 hours. So that comes out to basically it's like minimum wage territory. 20 hours, it's like $12.50 or something. Oops, no. Okay, there we go. All right, Excel or Google Sheets is being a pain. I think it's $12.50. So that's that's an option. It's not the most ideal situation, right? You could so this is like Uber Eats. You could sell stuff, right, to get stuff back up there. There's other sell stuff is pretty big. We're going through the process now of doing that. Actually, it's pretty interesting. There might be a video coming out about it in the near future. We'll have to see. But yeah, so I don't know. I hope that answered your question. Jacob, what's going on, my friend? Yeah, so I hope that kind of answered your question. And I did kind of want to spend the whole time talking about this topic because I think it's really important for people to think about. Sorry about the tree. Jersey. Woo. All right. For people to talk about their long-term goals and maybe it being too overwhelming. So I think depending on your situation. So vacation time was thinking that $3,600 would be reasonable in a, what is that? I guess it's 18 weeks period or whatever. So it's $200 a week. Some people might look at that like, oh my God, I could never do that. But I think it's just, what do we want to have accomplished? And then what are the small daily, weekly, monthly habits that we'd be able to do? So, vacation time here said that he seems like he'd be willing to sacrifice putting money into his investing account, or even skimming off the top by adding 20 extra. I guess, yeah. The question here is like, how many transactions are you doing a week where this would be a viable strategy? So if you're doing that, if you're doing 10 transactions a week and you're doing $20 extra on top of every transaction, it seems like you just have enough money then every week and every bi-week, every 2 weeks, to be able to just kind of put that money aside. But you let me know if that's not the case. But yeah, I really love that question. Yeah, so thanks so much for that. We're going to jump into the community activity, talk about things that have just been going on here. So this is Dollar Discipline University. It's a free personal finance community, absolutely free to join. Looks like we had actually a few members in the last couple hours join, which is great. Yeah, so if you're looking to pay off your debt, save more money, just build your confidence in your personal finances. I the wins that people have been having in here are pretty awesome, and I'm doing free strategy calls for every new member that joins. So it looks like there's maybe 3 people that I need to reach out to for their free strategy call. Um, we have I'm trying to get feedback right now. I did this a couple days ago on if anyone would be interested in doing like this monthly sprint challenge to try and save. I put $1,000, but we could, add any amount there. I think it's relevant based on this question here, where it's like, hey, I'm trying to save $3,600 in 18 weeks, or some, like 4.5 months. So I think it's relevant to just bring up again. So if that's something that would interest you guys, like you don't have to join the community to tell me if you don't want to join the community, but like let me know in the comments. Let me know if like something like that would be interesting. I have some ideas planned of how we'd be able to do that and how like accountability I think would be able to help us get there. So yeah, let me know. Um, there was a win here by Christy today, which was awesome. She turned a horrible situation into a really great situation where she was able to pay off 2 of her credit cards. And she's someone that didn't even speak to on a strategy call. We sent a couple private messages back and forth, and then she sent me today that she was able to do that. So very very cool. A lot of cool stuff happening here. The next event is it's called Finances Friday. Every other week, we just schedule an hour of time in the community for people to just join the call and then think of it like study hall for adults. So, we all have things that we put off and we should be doing, XYZ, especially in our finances, right? It's always like a last thought. It's always I was guilty of this too. I still always am. Like it's hard to always like make it a priority. Um, so yeah, that's why I put that on the calendar. It's a free event. It's trying to just be like an accountability thing for people. And I think how we prioritize things in our finances is kind of the strategy. Not this. It's going to be beneficial. Like the things that we prioritize are the things that we say we care about. And by prioritize, I mean things that we spend our time, our money, our effort, our sacrifices on. All those things, the things that we are spending those things on are actually the things that we care about. So when 10 years ago when I was like, why am I living paycheck to paycheck? But then my wife and I would be watching Netflix for 3 hours a night. And you look back on it, it's like, well, duh, like I 3 hours, like an eighth of my day, I was spent just watching Netflix. And I'm probably exaggerating. It might not have been 3 hours, but you get my point. Whereas like I thought I was like, oh man, I'm doing all these things. And when like I did a time audit, to be quite honest, and that's something I would recommend. It can be a little intense, but like once you actually sit down and you're like, all right, what did I do in this last hour? Once you start tracking that, trust me, you're not going to want to watch Netflix for 3 hours because you don't want to seem like you're lazy or whatever. So instead, like if that block of Netflix time comes up, it's like, oh wow, nope, I'm not watching Netflix. I need to go do some finance stuff, right? So it's a good exercise. It keeps yourself accountable. And to be honest, that's why I'm making these daily live streams. I ask myself, what do I want to get out of this community? And the things that I want to happen in this community are obviously for the people inside to keep getting more and more and more value to be able to reach their financial goals faster. For new people, obviously, to join the community, because while 191 members is awesome and the growth in the last couple of months is awesome, um, I, I think like a super crazy long-term goal for me is like, how do I help 1 million families with their personal finances? That sounds nuts right now, but that's why we create, when we create goals, we try to create different time length goals. So we try to create short-term goals, medium-term goals, long-term goals. Short term is under a year, long term is over 5 years, and then the middle is sort of in the middle. And so how do we get this crazy long goal? Like, let's say, hey, I want to help 1 million families with their personal finances, whether it's save more money, pay off debt, whatever. What are the short-term goals and the medium-term goals that I would need to do to be able to make that happen? Because I can't just wake up one day and 1 million people are in here. That's pretty unlikely. It would be amazing. If I didn't have to lift a finger, but that would be amazing. So for me, it's like, okay, if I do these daily live streams, more people will see it. And the people that are in the community or the people in the YouTube community are going to get, a closer connection to each other and to me. And it's just going to broaden out the scope of this community and what we're trying to do here. So you just kind of have to think, okay, what's the thing that I want to dangle way out in the future, right? And then what are the things that I need to do to get to that point? So that's kind of that's what finance is. That's what really any like goal setting thing is. So if your thing is, hey, how do I want to save $1,000 in 3 months, 1 month? Okay, what are the things I need to start doing like right now to be able to make that happen? And then you can kind of map it out. And guess what? If you say, hey, I want to save $1,000, or in this case, let's talk about this, because if I want to save $3,600, right, by the end of the year, and then you get to the end of the year and you ended up saving $2,000. I don't know, would that be a loss? Would you feel like a failure? No. Like you set a goal, a lofty goal you thought for you, and you saved about half of it. And it's like, okay, well, if I wasn't this intentional, if I didn't set the goal and I wasn't taking action every day, would I even save the $2,000 in the first place? Probably not. Okay. Would this community grow if I just didn't do these live streams? Probably not. Okay. So it's just, you have to like really connect the dots here. And I think it's really helpful. So yeah, I'd love to, what do you guys think about that little thought process there? I am not gonna lie, I'm a little tired tonight. It was swim lessons for my two kids. So I have a 4-year-old, we have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. And we get home late on Tuesdays because the swim class is like 30 minutes away, but we found a place where we're able to like stack their swimming. So, my daughter goes, then my son goes, then we go home and everything. But it's very fun, but it's a long day. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Dollar Discipline University, guys, make sure to go check it out. The link is down in the description. It's also pinned in the live chat if you're in here. School.com/debt. Helping people save more money, pay off debt, get more confidence, and come in and check out Christy's win. I think it's totally cool. And yeah, anyone new that joins, free strategy call. I do these live streams so you guys can just see like, hey, what is this guy all about? I don't edit these. This is me. I'm just raw. I'm just talking. So if you like that, make sure to like these videos, guys. I don't really ask people to do that, but like the video. Let's get it out to more people. Let's get this community on YouTube and the community. Let's get it growing. And I'll see you tomorrow night, guys. Have a good one.